Well, another day and a different face. Well, same face as last week, but a different face. Um, Frank's enjoying the cooler climes of Scotland, as he advised me early this morning. Having left our winter to get to a warm summer in the northern hemisphere, he's struggling with a cold Scottish day. So, welcome back to Pete. Good for you
Thanks,
to join us
Dennis.
again, Pete.
Yeah, no, wonderful to be here. And I think I'd rather be with Frank because it's -3 here this morning. And
Oh, wow, that's colder than
and
here.
remember that really cold wind you used to get in Wairua?
Yeah.
It's just outside the window. That's chilly.
Oh, no. Well, we're heading to 16. It's quite still, and yes, there was a frost overnight, but not much. It's mostly gone by now. So there you go. That's the weather
Mm.
forecast from the Midday Midweek channel. So let's kick on to um, more the reason why we're here. And we'll just, Pete, how about we just reflect a bit on the flow on from last week's announcement about the Give a Little page, the kind of feedback you've had and so on?
Thanks, Dennis. Yeah, the response on the Give a Little page is first off, I'd like to say thank you for all those wonderful people that have donated. We have $5,500 in there,
Oh,
which is really, really good. I'm delighted with that. And I'd just like to say, all of you guys and girls out there, how about donating the price of your next drink or your next coffee or something to this cause? The money's all going to go to SEVA, to the SEVA committee, who have a welfare arm, and it's going to a good cause to help all our brothers and sisters. So that's the first thing I'd like to say. The second thing is there's a few comments been bouncing around on Facebook regarding us not undermining the RSA, but going in competition with the RSA, and that has never been our intention, and will never be our intention, I believe. The thing is that we're a unique set of military people in the fact that from 1974, 1 April, that date again, when ACC started, then anybody serving after that date has to get any accident compensated through ACC. Now, if you fall over in Singapore or anywhere in New Zealand in 1975 or wherever, if that's not documented by ACC, then you're probably told that you're just too old and that's your problem. That's why your knees are shot and your ankles and all the rest of the bits and pieces. If you join before 1974, then you have routine service and you can get access to Veterans Affairs, but you still have some of the same problems. So that's the reason we are trying to support our people who, hey, we're no spring chickens anymore, Dennis, are we? I think we've been around for a year or two. And there's a lot of our members, they need help with things, might be glasses or lawn mowing and things like that, stuff that gets harder as you get older.
yep.
Your spouting needs a clean, you can't get up a ladder to do it. And I know I'm in that situation. So there was, as I say, never any intention to undermine the RSA. So I think we should just hope that they take that at face value because, that's it. So,
Yep. And I think there's an interesting point. I recall reading, I think in the last 2 or 3 months, the accident compensation legislation. And if you're outside the country longer than, I think it was 6 months, you're not covered.
hmm,
So while you're in Singapore for 2 years, you might
yeah,
be covered in the first 6 months, but for the rest of the tour, you're not covered by accident compensation.
yeah.
So that injury doesn't classify uh, for support from ACC.
Hmm.
So there's a gap. And I just need to correct Pete. He did say that the give a little money's for the committee. That's not quite correct. It's not for us.
No, I didn't mean that. Sorry, that's my mistake.
It's we already have a welfare fund, so it's been contributed over time.
Yeah.
and some people through our coffee club. So they make maybe $5 or $10 donation once a fortnight, something like that. And that goes into the welfare fund. There have been other donations at other times, and they've been slotted in there. And I think we had some donations prior to the Give a Little page going live. People were aware it was going to happen. So because we didn't have a specific account set up at that time, those donations have gone directly into that support account. So it's sitting in there. We haven't lost it. It hasn't been used for other purposes. It's just sitting in there. And I think the attitude there is one that we need to think about in relation to the RSA. It's not a matter of undermining them, as Pete has said. It's more a matter of working collaboratively together. So what can we do? What can they do? How can we both work side by side for the betterment of the former services community? And I think that's an attitude that we need to take to the wider veteran community. It's not about this group or that group being better than the other or whatever, having more access to money. It's actually having the courage to put up our hands and say, yep, we're here to help. We'll work with you. We don't need to have all the kudos or whatever. If we've got some money that's available and you have a need, if we can't help you, we'll try and find another avenue to support you. And even if that means knocking on the doors of the government's welfare agencies, because that social contract that exists between former service people and the government can be fulfilled in that vein. So how about that? And of course, the other thing that sprung out of that, now we had some feedback, Pete, about don't give up the medallic recognition fight. What's the plan? What's the heads up there?
Yes, and we're not giving up, but as I said last week, the reply from the Ombudsman is not that promising. But having said that, we still do have the right of reply. So I'm formulating a reply. I'm trying to put as much information in there as possible, which will sway the Ombudsman to dig a little bit deeper. As I said, her initial comments were, we need to prove a lot more. And that's the word prove, because hearsay, and that is just not going to cut it for us. So.
Okay. So when you say prove, what are you meaning, Pete? What kind of
if somebody experienced some form of incident in Malaysia, it needs to be recorded somewhere within the battalion record or a newspaper cutting or something like that, saying that New Zealand troops were involved. You know, we just can't say, oh yeah, they came across an ambush site, blah blah blah, because defence would just turn around and say, well, prove it, and that's been our biggest issue up till now. Prove it.
Yeah. So lots of hearsay stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
And there are lots and lots of newspaper articles with the Malaysians. And lots of them. And if we could link those to New Zealand troops, it would be wonderful. You know, New Zealand troops being in the area.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that would be fantastic.
That the era that we were up there, 75, 77, it just escapes me where I got the information from. I think it might have been one of the Malaysian Armed Forces books. It was like a coffee table book, weighed about 6 tons, and it listed a whole lot of information about their involvement right up until 89. And 75, 77, in that period, was the highest number of losses amongst the Malaysian Armed Forces on the ground fighting the communist terrorists.
Yep.
So it was still happening. And I think, did I send you that, Pete, the statistical chart?
I don't know. Could you send it to me again, and then I'll have a look at it?
Yeah.
Just while you're mentioning that 75 period, which is the year I arrived January 75, and we were out with the battalion, and I'm pretty sure it was a battalion exercise, and we woke up in the morning and there was a Malaysian Army guys had a CT guy who was armed to the teeth, and he had
Oh,
walked through the battalion area overnight, and they'd caught him. Now, everybody I know that was with us have all passed away. And so if anybody out there recalls that incident, or has it written down anywhere, would be lovely, because that is a really, really specific incident. But proving it is the big problem.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's been lots over the years, lots of anecdotal evidence. People have said, "Oh, when we were out, so and so happened, or this happened, or that happened."
Yeah.
But that information needs to have made its way either to the battalion journal or into the intelligence section, and certainly the wider NZ Force intelligence gathering apparatus, and be recorded, because otherwise it's just hearsay, and there's no
It is just hearsay.
real proof. Mind you, if we had 35 people who were there and saw it all, and someone had taken a photo, well, that's good value. Can be used. Who knows?
Yeah.
All right. So that's good. That's two big chunks follow up from last week. Thanks for that, Pete. And so when's the cutoff for answering the
so the cutoff date is the cutoff date is the 22nd of August, which is next week.
Okay. Yep.
So it has to be in their hands by the 22nd of August. So
okay, cool. So if you've got some information,
even
if you think we may have already had it, make contact through Facebook or Messenger or whatever it is with Pete or myself, and we'll collate that and see where it goes. So there we go.
I've got a very easy email address to remember, which is peterbreen79@gmail.com.
Okay, well, there you go. Send it to Pete.
Mm.
All right.
So I look forward to the replies.
Yeah, you should get a heap. So here we go. Just so tomorrow in Blenheim is the next coffee meeting, Thursday the 15th. And I think it's the third Thursday of every month. And that's at the Salmon's Funeral Home, or whatever it is, in Hutchinson Street. Kickoff's at 10 o'clock. And if you need to get some more information, Janice is the contact. I think it's Janice Marshall, 021 071 6242. The Tauranga Hub, so they are Tuesdays and Wednesdays, so that's today, between 10 and 2, and I think that's every week. And coming up, as has been the case, Wigram Air Force Museum, Friday the 30th of August. People roll in any time after 9:30, because there can be quite a queue to get a hot coffee or whatever you need, and the scone. So we look forward to seeing those who are in the Canterbury or Christchurch region dropping in on the 30th. So Frank, not here, and he sent me a list of the crossing the bar, so I'll do those. I've got a few Army ones, and I've got the odd Air Force one as well. So you'll just have to bear with me for a few minutes. Here we go. Foxtrot 998320, Solomon Carley, RNZN, Able Writer, joined 95, crossed the bar on the 5th of August 24. The service for Carley has been held, followed by her committal at the Hawara Cemetery. NZ 18269, Mitchell Peter, Communications Yeoman, RNZN, 1964 to 1989, crossed the bar on the 11th of August 2024. No further details are available at this time. NZ 14046, Anscombe Herbert, known as Bert, RNZN, NZ Army and RNZAF, crossed the bar on the 13th of August 2024 in his 88th year. Bert served in the RNZN from 1952 to 1965. He took part in Operation Grapple, which was the testing of nuclear weapons in the then Gilbert and Ellice Islands. In 1957, after he took his discharge from the RNZ Navy, he joined the Army and served in 1 ALSG at Vung Tau in Vietnam in 1968. He then changed from the New Zealand Army to the RNZAF and spent most of his RNZAF service at Woodburn. NZ 17824, Forest, James Maxwell, leading radioman. LRD Colin crossed the bar at 9:45 on the 12th of August. There will be a private cremation for the family. Let me just get down here. So this one's quite significant. Uniform 30769. Matron Major retired Pamela Mighty Terry, RNZNC, passed away in Rotorua, aged 86 on Monday. Pamela enlisted in the Army after completing her training at Waikato Hospital in 1962. She later served at the BMH in Terendak, I think that's British Medical Hospital in Terendak Camp, Malaysia. Then in 1969-70 served in the 1 Australian Field Hospital at Vung Tau, taking her release from the Army in 1973. Since that time, Pamela has been very active with the veterans from the Vietnam era, and also was one of the trustees of the Vietnam Veterans Trust. 34194, Colonel, retired. Sim, Stuart F, RNZAC. Call time on the 24th of July in North Auckland, aged 92. The Colonel probably enlisted in late 1949 and passed selection for the Military College in Duntroon, being a staff cadet there for 4 years, graduating in December 1953 into the Royal New Zealand Armoured Corps. He served in 1 NZ Regiment as a lieutenant in 1957-59, where he was also a member of the 1 NZ Regiment Band. The band was internally recruited. So the Colonel later in 1968 and 1969, when he was the GSO2 at New Zealand Arm in Singapore, made 2 short visits to Vietnam and retired with the rank of Colonel in November 1981. And from the RNZAF, Tango 81092, Squadron Leader retired. Barry J. Balsam, RNZAF, passed away on the 24th of July. Squadron Leader served in the RNZAF from January 63 to March 1985, and in 41 Squadron in Singapore from June 71 to June 73. He was originally Accounts Clerk and would have gone to Vietnam as the Imprestee. And we also have Wing Commander retired, John Barry Clements, November 79293, pilot in the RNZAF, 24th of February 58 until 17th of December 1982. JB, as he was known, was attached to 9 RAAF Squadron in South Vietnam and was also posted to 41 Squadron 22nd of November 75 until 26th of November 77. Passed away early in the morning of 29th of July 2024. And I have missed one. I'll just take a step back. For the Navy, Mitchell Peter, former Communications Centre Supervisor at RNZ in September 64 until February 89. His serial number was NZ1826. And that's all the information we have. So our condolences to the families. And as usual, we offer our support if you need to make contact with the RSA, Veterans Affairs, to assist post the passing of a loved one. We're always here to help and see if we can hook you into the support that you need. Pete, are you comfortable to do the ode for us?
Yeah, I could do that for you.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
They grow not old as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them.
We will remember them.
Remember them.
Thank you, Pete. And that's us for today, folks. So
can I just finish with saying, please don't forget our Give a Little page. Just, $5, $10, whatever would be absolutely wonderful. let's help our fellows and fellowesses along. So who may need our help.
Excellent, Pete. So the next time you go to have a coffee while you're out, quick grab out the phone, send $5 to the Give a Little page, and then buy your coffee. Or go without and walk out.
No, don't go without. You need a coffee.
But there you go. That's us for this week. Again, I think this Thursday is a committee meeting of the executive. So following on from the AGM at the end of July, this will be our first meeting. So if you have any thoughts, ideas, or something you'd like to contribute to the overall health and well-being of the association for the future, don't hesitate to get in touch. And we'll see you same place, same time next week. Excellent.
See you later.